three-pointer. Aiken drop. Aiken drop. And for the first time since 2017, the Homestead Spartans are regional champions.
It's time to kick off 2025 with a semi-state rematch from 2024 as the Lake Central Indians travel to take on the Homestead Spartans. Happy New Year's, everybody. Braxton Hall along with Malachi Stout. And Malachi, last year, this matchup, it was the end of the road for the Spartans, and it was a stepping stone to a state championship berth for the Indians. How does Homestead flip the script this year?
Well, Braxton, this is a very similar team from the Spartans that we saw last year, this time with more experience. And I think a big part of them being able to win this game will be their shooting from beyond the arc. That's one of the big advantages they have over the Indians. And Lake Central, they're going to want to slow things down. But if the Spartans can get hot early, they can run away with this game.
You mentioned it. Homestead, a team that's largely the same from last year, just losing only one starter from last year's squad, and a team that's looked good so far this season. For Lake Central, not the case returning starters. They lost quite a few from last year. Of course, the big loss for them was Anaya Bishop, but still 12-5, and they had a win last time out in their last game. So this team is rolling right now. They've won 4 of their last 5. You see the score there when they took down Limestone. So Lake Central, maybe not quite as good as they were last year, at least in the early stages of this season, but they're really coming alive now.
Yeah, and a big part of that has been their defense. It's been very strong all year long, and now with their offense starting to come alive in some of their last games, we saw last time out they scored 65 points, and so their offense can continue to produce like that. This is a very dangerous team.
Meanwhile, Homestead, their last game, it was a consolation game in the Hall of Fame Classic. They took down South Knox 73-70, and some big news for the Spartans. Carly Mullering, who's been out about 6 weeks with a hand injury she suffered against Noblesville. She's going to be playing today for the Spartans. What does her presence mean for the team?
Well, she just brings so much, not just experience, but just such surety to this offense. Just someone they can rely on and is always reliant. We've really seen her take a big step up this year at that early part of the season, and they really felt her loss against Lawrence Central as a rough game for them. But her being back on this team just means so much for this offense.
We've seen her leadership skills on the bench while she's been out. She's been rallying the troops during their timeouts, and now she'll be out on the floor. We're on milestone watch here tonight. 2 players in this game nearing 1,000 career points. Vanessa Wimberly of Lake Central, she sits at 993. Meanwhile, for Homestead, Maya Epps, 998 career points. If and when they hit that 1,000 point mark, they will be honored during this game today. So we'll keep an eye on them. But this is so much more than a one-on-one matchup. It's really 5v5.
Yeah, and although that will be the back and forth in between these two teams, both of these teams should be going back and forth all game long, which is a very evenly matched team, both of which are star-studded.
Should be a fun one. Homestead looking to get revenge from a year ago. Lake Central trying to go to 2-0 in the series history. We'll take a break. We're back with starting lineups and tip right after this.
Rethink your limits.
For more than 30 years and 2 generations, RT and Colin Green have given Fort Wayne more than proven personal injury representation. They have shared everyday life with the people they serve. These deep ties give RT Colin, and every member of Team Green Law the local Fort Wayne knowledge and insight to know the best way to help you get the recovery you deserve. See the difference local experience makes. For a free consultation, visit us online at teamgreenlaw.com. Team Green Law, for you, with you.
Getting closer to tip here at Spartan Arena. Let's meet our starting lineups for tonight's game. First off, for Lake Central, it'll be Bella Soria, Bryn Leonard, Vanessa Wimberly, Aaliyah Kragier, and Joe Biederstadt in the starting lineup. And you see it there, 4 of the players, upperclassmen on this roster. So plenty of experience for this team. A lot of them that saw minutes on the team that went to state last year.
Yeah, as you mentioned, a very experienced team. Lots of turnover from their state team last year, so this is a very experienced team. They know how to win, and they've seen Homestead before. They know what they need to watch out for, so watch out for this Indian squad.
And meanwhile for Homestead, just the second change to the starting lineup this year, but it's a big one. Carly Mullering, she's back to starting for the Spartans. Maya Epps, Liv Fry, Gabby Helsom, and Whitney Ankenbrook round out the lineup. Of course, coming off the bench will be Delaney Knoll. She'll likely be the 6th woman off the bench here for the Spartans, but her presence was big for this team while she was in the starting lineup. But now having Carly Mullering back out there, potential for this team to take yet another step forward.
Yeah, and although the Spartans didn't like having Carly Mullering out, it did give Delaney Knoll a chance to really just bump up her game and just have more experience in that starting 5. And now she's a huge player coming off the bench that the Spartans can really rely on throughout the game.
And Knoll, she averaged 6 points per game during her time coming in as a starter, and she'll likely get plenty of minutes still off the bench. Meanwhile, Mullering just under 13 points per game. She had some big performances early in the season, putting up 23 points in the opener against Northridge. We hope to see more out of her. So Homestead, the last time they played was last Friday. It was the Hall of Fame Classic, like we mentioned. They got that victory against South Knox. Earlier in the day, they suffered that defeat against Lawrence Central. It was the lowest scoring game that this team has seen this year offensively, as they only put up 42 points. But they followed it up with a great offensive performance in that evening against South Knox. How does Lake Central slow them down?
Well, Lake Central, they just need to try to take away the 3 and force the Spartans to try to get good looks going inside. If Lake Central can keep this game low scoring, they could pull it out down the stretch.
See the starting lineups right there. Maya Epps, the first one out for the Spartans. 998 career points, more than anyone currently on the roster right now for the Spartans. Likely she will eclipse the 1,000-point mark in this game, and probably early on. Vanessa Wimberly for the Indians, good chance she eclipses 1,000 points as well. 993 in her career. Those two of the best players in the entire state. Both of them put up double digits when these two squads met last year. So there we go. These two teams, they've only met one time. It was that semi-state meeting a year ago. The Indians got the better of the Spartans after trailing a majority of the game. They took the lead late in the third and never really looked back. They ended up winning that one 55-42. The Indians, they're trying to become 2-0 in this series all time. The Spartans, they're trying to get revenge and get back-to-back wins on the year. Helsom and Kriegier going head-to-head in the circle. And we are underway from Spartan Arena. That one off the shoulder of Helsom, and they're going to redo the tip. laughing it off and getting ready to run it back again, get this game underway. And Lake Central will control it to begin this game. You mentioned in the pregame show a squad that this year specifically has relied very heavily on their defense. They come into this game averaging less than 50 points per game, but they get it going right away.
And that's exactly what the Indians are looking for. Just a great pick and roll there, and finds Ayla Krieger just wide open under the basket. Spartans cannot have mishaps like that on the defensive side of the ball.
Mullering her first touch. It was that left hand she injured. You can see it wrapped up a little bit there. She's been out about 6 weeks, so hopefully no more pain for her, and she's able to get back to her normal self out on the floor. Ball in her hands. Now back to Epps. Epps almost has it taken away. Instead of going to get it to Liv Fry. Now Ankenbrook, she's going to pop the three-pointer. That time off the mark. Fry gets the rebound. Maya Epps goes up. She's fouled and one. And that's 1,000 career points from Maya Epps. Took her all of 50 seconds to get it in this game. You see the team celebrating there.
And just what a way to get it with an and one now for a chance for 1,001.
Yeah, perhaps no more fitting way than for Maya Epps to go to the line for an and one opportunity as she eclipses 1,000 career points, as she does so often. A chance for a three-point play. She goes now for her and one, and she gets that one to go. So Maya Epps now 1,001 career points in this game, and Coach Parker's going to call a timeout, and they're going to take a moment to honor her out on the floor as she hits a major milestone. The leading scorer of current players right now on Homestead. And there it is, a plaque for such an impressive feat to do at the high school level, getting 1,000 career points, and not just doing it, but doing it midway through her junior season. Still a full another year and a half to go.
Yeah, 1,000 is just such a hard mark for any player across 4 years, and to do it in 3 is just unremarkable. So just what a gift this is for Maya Epps, as she has earned all 1,000 of those points.
Ladies and gentlemen, Maya Epps, 1,000 career points.
So now I'll get back into the game. Just 50 seconds gone in this one. Homestead up 3-2. Again, that's just one of the two players we're expecting to get to 1,000 in this game. Vanessa Wimberly of the Indians at 993. She'll need 7 to get to the 1,000-point mark, and should be able to do it. She averages 14.5 per game. Indians will bring it up the floor. Get us back underway. Trying to find some movement. Ball in the hands of Leonard. She's going to drive, bobbled a little bit. Deflect out a play off of Liv Fry. Bryn Leonard, she had a big performance against the Spartans last year. Averages 7 points per game this year. One of 4 seniors on the Indians. Central undefeated in conference play right now, 4-0 in the Duneland Conference, 12-5 overall on the season. So for what you would think would maybe be a little bit of a down year, still a team that is very, very talented this season.
Yeah, there's just not really, there has been some drop-off, but not much. It's just Coach Hoopinall just keeping this team very just consistent night in and night out, just keeping this team balanced, and has led them to a 12-5 record and 4-0 in their conference.
A 50-second possession now. It began back with 7:10 on the clock. Like Central, hey, they're defensive, but get some points. If you have a long possession here, it'll work out in the end. Again, now over a minute gone on this possession. Wimberly passes it off. Now Leonard back to Wimberly. She's going to try the deep three-pointer. That time off the mark, but the offensive board, fight for the ball, loose. Inkenbrook now has it for the Spartans. So the 72nd possession comes up dry. Maya Epps has it for Homestead. All 3 points for the Spartans so far in this game. Epps looking around, gets into Inkenbrook. Now Mullering, her first shot back, and how fitting, it goes down. Carly Mullering picking up right where she left off.
And she's already making an impact. She was shooting 48% before the injury, and she shows no signs of stopping. She gets her first one to go down.
Tied for the second highest on the team with Gabby Helsam. Kendall McLaughlin leads the squad with 63% from beyond the arc, although she hasn't taken quite as many as Helsam and Mullering. As that time, nothing doing from Craigier. A little bit of contact, but They're going to say it's clean, so the ball, now they're talking things over, and they're going to say last touched by Homestead. You got a piece of it, so it'll be Lake Central basketball. Indians, this is just their third possession of the game, and Ankenbrook forces a tie-up. The arrow will go to Homestead, so Whitney Ankenbrook getting aggressive there. She's second highest on this team in steals per game. She'll get it back for her team.
Well, the Spartans, we know how good their offense can be, but their defense is really turning things up here early in this game, just setting a presence. They're just really active, just fighting towards the ball.
Epps with the ball for the Spartans. Going to pop it from the free throw line, and that one's money. Spartans making it from every level right now, inside, outside, and mid-range on the other end. Indians can't convert. Fry going to go quickly, has Mullering, couldn't quite get it past a little bit high. Now Helsum, three-pointers up, just off the mark. Indians looking to run now offensively. Wimberly forces one up, gets it to go. Maybe a little bit out of control on the shot, but able to get it to go, no problem. Now Epps can't convert. And Wimberly back up on the other end. Passes out. Craig here going to think about it. Going back to Wimberly. Halfway through this first quarter, gone by quick so far. Soria passes it. And Craig here has some space for a three-pointer. Doesn't want to take it. Only 28% beyond the arc this season. Leonard out. Another very long possession from Lake Central. We knew this coming into the game that they would like these long possessions, but really extending it right now.
Yeah, and although they are extending it, they aren't really getting anything from it so far. But here, if they can get a good look and get it to go down, could be a huge basket to cut the score to one possession.
Shorten the game, that's one way to do it. Homestead, a team that averages 66 points per game, but maybe shortening the game's the game plan of the Indians, as they're going to call a foul there against Lake Central. We're going to get our first substitutions of this game. Delaney Knoll is going to check in for the Spartans coming off the bench, as will Kendall McLaughlin. Meanwhile, Carolyn Archer going to come in for the Indians. So Delaney Knoll into the game, and she's not starting this game with Carly Mullering back, but only a freshman getting these amount of minutes, and she has made an impact when she's out on the floor.
Yeah, she's just been a huge part of this team, and has really stepped up her game throughout the course of the season.
How about that? Gabby Helsum getting it to go from beyond the arc. Mentioned earlier, 48% from outside this year, and a very impressive 53% overall from the field this season. And the best shooters, not just for the Spartans, but in the entire area. As a turnover there, it's going to give it back to Homestead, and a team that has an average of 14 turnovers per game. As Keely Skirka going to check into the game here for Lake Central, another substitution. McLaughlin trying to find Epps, can't quite get it to bank home, tipped around. Indians come down with it. It's Wimberly up the floor. Going through Ankenbrook, gets it to go. Nice move from her.
And while the Indians are a team that love to slow things down, they've really just been living through transitions so far in this game. It's where a majority of their points has come from. We'll see if they look more towards that, try to get themselves back in this game.
She has 4 points in this one, now just 3 away from 1,000 career points. Maya Epps has it for the Spartans. She has passed 1,000 career points in this game. Did it. And Homestead's first offensive possession is a turnover there. Indians going to have it. Soria getting a piece of it. Not going to try to run it, though. Wimberly with the ball. Passes back. Soria. And Craig Ear. Standing at 6 feet tall, one of the tallest players on the floor, and she is tied for the tallest for Lake Central. So Wimberly passes out, going up with it. Bouncing off the rim, and it finally drops in as Archer got it to go. 90 seconds to go in the first quarter. Delaney Knoll has it. Now to Kendall McLaughlin. McLaughlin to Maya Epps. Epps going to shoot it just inside the arc, a little bit off the mark. Helsum, 3 Indians players there. She's going to get fouled, and she'll head to the free throw line where she's 84% this year.
Well, the Spartans have done a very good job in this game of just cleaning up off the boards. As we see Gabby Helsum, just a great play by her, able to fight through 3 Indians defenders and able to get the board and is now headed to the line.
First one good from Helsum. She's up to 4 points in this game. Averages 19 points per game this season. Some more substitutions coming into the game. Carly Mullering goes back in for the Spartans. Maya Epps will get a rest. Liv Fry, the other starter, over on the sideline right now. Gabby Helsum converts both at the line. Homestead leads at 5. Helsum has 5 points in this game. 3-point shot is up. Craigiear can't get it to go. Ankenbrook gets the board. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Central trying to make it a defensive bout. Spartans trying to speed things up. Knoll to Mullering. She's going to try the contested 3-pointer just off the mark. Knoll keeps the possession alive for the Spartans. Now an open 3-pointer for Mullering. That one too misses. And then that time, Soria wasn't ready for the pass as Craigiear was trying to get it to her. That'll turn it over. Second time miscommunication on a pass is giving it to the Spartans.
And we've already seen, as you mentioned, twice now the Indians just having miscommunications, and they cannot afford that. They're already down by 5. And in a game that you're trying to slow your possessions down, you can't afford to have costly turnovers such as those.
So Knoll will bring it back up the floor for the Spartans. Now to Carly Mullering. Ankenbrook to McLaughlin. Helsum spinning around. Back to McLaughlin. She's going to try the 3-pointer, and that one's good, and that's why she leads the team in 3-point percentage. And she gets that one to go, also the leader in field goal percentage at 62%. Last possession of the quarter here for the Indians. Got to get a shot off. Soria's going to try the deep 3-pointer. That one misses to the right, and that'll put an end to the first quarter. The Spartans double up the Indians and lead this one 16-8.
For more than 30 years and 2 generations.
Midway through the first quarter here at Spartan Arena, Homestead leads this one 16-8. And Lake Central, they've done a pretty good job overall of slowing the game down on their end of the ball. When Homestead has it, they are outrunning the Indians right now.
Yeah, and the Indians, as you mentioned, have slowed things down, and they've gotten a few really good looks, but they just haven't been hitting them like the Spartans have, and that's a big reason why they're already down 8. But if some of those shots can start going in, they could find themselves right back in this game.
For those of you just joining us, Homestead junior guard Maya Epps eclipsed 1,000 career points within the first minute of this game. Vanessa Wimberly of the Indians, she is currently 3 points shy of the mark. Ball in her hands as she passes out to Soria. Turning around. Wimberly got half the points in this game for Lake Central. So again, the offense just struggling to find any open looks. Liv Fry bringing unrelenting pressure defensively from Homestead. 3-pointers up. That one well off the mark. Fry's going to go quickly 2-on-2, although Indians defense gets back into position pretty well. So Liv Fry will reset the offense up top. Go to Kendall McLaughlin. Winnie Ankenbrook, the lone starter on the bench right now for the Spartans. Maya Epps with it. Bit of a hop step, maybe shuffling those feet. And there's the whistle, a travel. Pretty easy call from the official, although a lot of grabbing coming from the Indians. It works out there. Vanessa Wimberly will bring it back up the floor for Lake Central. Only 3 players from the Indians have scored in this game. Craigiear goes up. She was one of them, but can't get that one to go. And the ball deflected out of play. off of Soria. I think the official call is going to be a kicked ball violation, but either way, Homestead basketball. So the Spartans offense, it's the second game in a row, although still early in this game, but second game in a row, the offense looks to be performing very well.
Yeah, this is just Spartans offense. They just are so electrifying at times, and really the only time that they've lost is when their offense sort of slows down. This team just runs through the offense so well, and when it gets going, it seems that nobody can beat them.
The 2 games the Homestead has lost this year, first against Columbia City and then against Lawrence Central. They've been held into the 40s in points as Mullerine can't quite handle it cleanly, but still going to get a good look at a jumper, and she converts it. So smart decision from her not to force the 3, just take the easy look from 2, and she makes it go. Wimberly with the ball for the Indians. And trying to run the offense through her and Craigier. No real luck so far for Lake Central. The Craigier is going to go up. She's going to be fouled and get the shot to go.
Just a great play by Craigier, just able to fight through the contact and gets the and 1 to go. She's been a huge part of this team, staying at 6 feet tall. She's averaging 12.5 points per game and 5 rebounds.
It's one of those returning starters from last year as Keely Skirka going to check back in for Lake Central. Eva Scarberry going to come in for the Spartans. Winnie Inkenbrook checking back in as well. As the free throw no good. Well, they are going to get whistles. And a lane violation going to be called against Homestead. So a second chance at the free throw here. This one goes. So extra point there. Craigier gets it to go. Now the leading scorer in the game for Lake Central with 5. Epps has it for the Spartans to Inkenbrook. Now Fry passes out to Scarberry. Fry again with it. Dumps it off to Epps. She'll spin around. That time a bit strong. Lake Central's defense holds again. Just a 7-point deficit. They can get things going offensively. Wimberly rejected, or I should say deflected by the Spartans. Inkenbrook now in transition for the Spartans. Goes up high off the glass. Scarberry cleans it up.
And the Spartans, although their offense has been performing very well, they haven't gotten the transition game going yet. And so a huge basket for the Spartans. If they can get some turnovers and lead it right to offense, they could extend their lead even further.
Homestead forces just under 16 turnovers per game as Muller going to get called for the kicked ball there. And we're going to get some substitutions. Gabby Helsum going to check in for Homestead. Liv Fry will go to the bench. And Homestead right now, they're subbing a lot more than Lake Central is, and that's large parts thanks to the depth that Homestead has. Lake Central, they have some players that can come off the bench and make an impact, but Homestead, this is a team that really seems to be 10, 11, 12 deep.
Yeah, and that's a big advantage they have over last year. It seemed at times when their starting 5 wasn't in, they just looked scrambling around, didn't really have an identity, but now they looked really good where they can run 8 players in throughout the first quarter. And it's really just helped their team as they can just get better minutes from each of their players. And has been a big part of their improvement this season.
Wimberly now up to 6, so 999 career points for her. They're going to get the ball out to her this time. She's going to go up. She's going to be fouled, and she's going to have a chance to go to the free throw line for point number 1,000. Vanessa Wimberly here to eclipse the 1,000-point mark. And the first free throw is good, so that'll do it. 1,000 career points for Vanessa Wimberly. The second player in this game to eclipse that mark. Her teammates will come out and celebrate with her. And averaging 14.5 points per game. The leading scorer for Lake Central this season. She was the second leading scorer a year ago, so she's used to the spotlight on her team. Second one is up, and that one good as well. And here comes the timeout to celebrate the moment for her. As 1,000 career points eclipsed for Vanessa Wimberly. Again, we talked about it with Maya Epps, but just such an impressive feat, and especially in the high school level, a lot of players, they have to wait till their junior, senior year to make an impact. That hasn't been the case for her. Wimberly sharing the moment with her teammates. Now sitting at 1,001 career points. And getting lost and all that, Lake Central, they've got this back down to a 5-point game.
Yeah, the Indians clawing themselves right back in it now. The Spartans really have to respond offensively as the Indians had a really nice set of a few possessions here.
Inkenbrook has it now out to Delaney Knoll. I mentioned it. 3 freshmen and 1 sophomore on this roster for the Spartans. They've got a freshman and a sophomore out on the floor right now, and Delaney Knoll is that freshman, and she has the ball. To Whitney Inkenbrook. Of course, Scarberry, the sophomore, on the floor right now for Homestead. Delaney Knoll has it. Homestead feels like in the second quarter, they're playing Lake Central's game a little bit more, longer possessions, and give the Indians credit. It's been tight defense these last 3 minutes or so.
Yeah, they're really just not allowing any separations like the Spartans like, and that's really just what's held them not very good in this second quarter.
A little bit too much separation that time. Eva Scarberry converts from beyond the arc. She's got 5 points in this game and 40% from beyond the arc, so she knows how to get it done out wide. Soria passes it off to Wimberly. Lake Central had just 8 points in the first quarter, already 7 in this one, and add 3 more to the total. How about that from Vanessa Wimberly?
And we've seen her looking for the 3-ball a few times here, but the first time she's able to get it to go. Not a great 3-point shooter at 32%, but she does have the ability to knock it down when she's open.
And the first player in this game to get into double digits, she has 11. Still just a 5-point deficit. Lake Central hanging around. Of course, they trailed by as much as double digits in this game last year before they ended up winning by double digits, a 13-point victory for the Indians as Wimberly again gets it to go, and she is on fire right now.
Spartans just have no answer for Vanessa Wimberly as she's led this Indian squad right back in this game.
Well, there's a little bit of an answer. Eva Scarberry goes up, and she'll be shooting 1 to go along with it. Eva Scarberry, 7 points off the bench in this game for Homestead. And speaking of off the bench, Susie Perigo going to check into the game for the first time tonight. Looks like Whitney Inkenbrook will be the one, or excuse me, no, Carly Mooring will be the one going to the bench for the Spartans. Scarberry at the line. She gets that to go. The only player on Homestead perfect from the free throw line this year. She is now 7 of 7 from the stripe. We're going to get a timeout called. In a 6-point game. Indians staying close in this one. And how they did it last year, maybe how they'll be able to do it again this year. Just hang around to see what happens. Meanwhile, you have to imagine Coach Parker telling his girls, reminding them of where they were a year ago. Still got to make sure you get out here with the victory.
Yeah, and keeping this game close is the last thing the Spartans want to do. They want to just get out and leave the Indians behind, just not let their offense have a chance to catch back up in this game. Lake Central is such a dangerous team down the stretch of games, and Homestead wants no part of that.
2:42 to go here in the first half. Lake Central basketball following the timeout. And neither coach was charged with a timeout earlier in the game when they had those moments to celebrate the 1,000-point marks. Each team having a player eclipse that mark today. So the first official timeout of the game. Lake Central has 4 remaining. Homestead still with all 5. Bryn Leonard with the ball. She's been holding checks so far in this one. Averages 7 points per game, but none so far. Back in her hands. Pushing 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Lake Central, another lengthy possession, and that works as long as you come away with points. Wimberley, she scored the last 3 times for Lake Central. That time has it deflected. It goes out of play. They're going to say last touched by Homestead, so it'll stay with the Indians. And a substitution is Carolyn Archer. She's going to check back in for the Indians.
Well, you see the attention the Spartans are bringing towards Vanessa Wimberley now. We've seen her really start to get heating up. Spartans just trying to do anything to shut her down.
Here throws it in. Soria trying to go up. Perigo got a piece of her. So Soria will go to the free throw line.
Homestead, foul number 44, Perigo. Number 14, Soria.
Susie Perigo, another one of those freshmen on the team for Homestead. This is her 11th appearance of the season. And the first free throw that time, no good from Soria. 67% from the line this year. Overall, Lake Central a bit shaky from the free throw line as a team at 62%, but Soria gets the second one to drop. At her first point of the game. So just a 5-point advantage for the Spartans right now. Delaney Knoll, bit of a head fake. Now finding Helsum. Perigo back to Knoll, 3-pointer is good from Delaney Knoll, her first bucket of the evening. So Homestead spreading the love and now getting a turnover as here comes Maya Epps up the floor for the Spartans, seeking out contact, and it's going to get her to the free throw line.
And the Spartans really just getting into a groove offensively. They're trying to speed things up, go the pace that they like to play at, and it's worked out very successfully for them.
So Epps already been to the free throw line once this game, and she gets this one to go as well. It's 8 points in this one. Can't get the second to go. Helsum was there for the rebound, and a jump ball going to be called as Archer got in on it as well. And the arrow keeps it with the Spartans. So the missed free throw could lead to some extra points here.
Now about Gabby Helsum, this is the second time we've seen her just fighting through contact to get a hand on the ball, and now a jump ball this time. The other time an offensive rebound.
Susie Perigo with the ball out to Whitney Ankenbrook, and we're going to get an offensive foul. I think they're going to get Epps for that one, and that's going to be the call against Maya Epps. She was trying to set a screen to get Ankenbrook open out wide. That'll turn it over. 13 foul for the Spartans, first personal for Epps. So 65 seconds to go in the first half. Lake Central down 3 scores. Try to get this down to a 2-possession game before halftime. That forced 3 isn't going to do it. Ankerbrook to Epps. Now Knoll. She can't convert the layup. And we're going to get, I believe, a foul call here. And they're going to get Knoll for that one. Maybe a little bit of a frustration foul. And she picks that one up, her first.
And the Spartans, although they've been red hot from beyond the arc in the mid-range, they've struggled at the rim here early, just missing a few easy shots that they should have made. And that's one of the reasons why their offense isn't maybe as strong as we usually see it, but they're still fighting through and up to 30 points late in the second quarter.
For what it's worth, Homestead is a team that averages 66 points per game, so right now on pace for about 60. So still a good offensive performance from the Spartans. Joan Biederstadt going to check back into the game for Lake Central. She hasn't been out on the floor all that much after getting the start. Only a freshman, sitting at 6'1". As Leonard gets it to go at the line. Mollering with it for the Spartans. Helsum spinning around. She'll lay it home. Abby Helsum, just an unstoppable force for the Spartans this year, the leading scorer with 19 per game. I'm going to say Epps got a piece of it that time. It'll stay with Lake Central. Feels like they've really got to try to score here before that half, get this back down to single digits before going to the locker room.
Well, I think we just saw Vanessa Wimberly enter the game, and I think that's for a reason. I think the Indians are going to try to get the ball to her for this last shot.
See what happens. Ball thrown in. Handing off. Here is Wimberly with the ball. Now Leonard has it. Looks like Lake Central is going to hold for the final look here. Soria, guarded by App. She's going to drive, go up. Perigo swats it out of play. Just 3.5 remaining. So still plenty of time for a couple of passes, but can't do too much dancing once you get the ball in play. Wimberly has it. Now down to 2 on the clock. She's going to put one up. That one off the bottom of the glass. No good. And Homestead carries a double-digit lead into the locker room. They lead Lake Central 32-22.
Rethink your limits.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
For more than 30 years and 2 generations, RT and Colin Green have given Fort Wayne more than proven personal injury representation. They have shared everyday life with the people they serve. These deep ties give RT, Colin, and every member of Team Green Law the local Fort Wayne knowledge and insight to know the best way to help you get the recovery you deserve. See the difference local experience makes. For a free consultation, visit us online at teamgreenlaw.com. Team Green Law, for you, with you.
The Air National Guard allows you to serve your state and country just 1 weekend a month while living your everyday life the other 28 days. You can earn up to $1,200 a month and get 100% of your college tuition paid for. For more information, search Fort Wayne Black Snakes on Facebook or Instagram, or call 260-478-3247 to connect with a recruiter today.
Halftime here at Spartan Arena. Homestead leading Lake Central 32-22. Let's take a look at some of the scores from around the area. And it's a busy day of basketball, especially for it being a Thursday, the day after New Year's. You see some of the scores on your screen. How about Wayne? They're continuing to roll. They take down Bloomington North 73-61. Avon takes down Snyder 76-44. Bishop Luers over Warsaw 67-53. Angola over Bishop Dwenger 51-37. And Snyder defeating Mishawaka Marion 60-55. And some non-conference matchups on your screen. In fact, all of them non-conference matchups on your screen right there. But now we're after New Year's. The focus begins to shift to conference play. And for Homestead, their next matchup will be against North Central. But then after that, they get back into conference play, taking on Southside next Friday. So these games kind of the final warm-ups, so to speak, before you get into the final conference play push.
Yeah, and those conference games are so important. You just got to be as sharp as you can, as even one game can put you so far back, as we saw last year with the Spartans. They lost the game against Snyder, and that really just dropped them out of the race for the title, as just one game is so huge in this conference. You have to be on game every single time you play conference.
And right now the SAC standings very similar to what they were a year ago. You have Homestead and Snyder tied at 5-0. That game ended up being a de facto championship last year. And then Northrop one game back. Meanwhile, the Duneland Conference, where Lake Central plays, in fact, every team right now is in the exact same position they were in when the season finished last year. Lake Central and Valparaiso tied up top at 4-0 apiece. So still plenty of good basketball to come. It's crazy. We're not less than a month away from the selection, or from the sectional pairing show. We're just about a month away from sectionals beginning. So it's coming up quickly, the end of the regular season on the girls' side. Shifting back to this game, though, Homestead up by 10 points. It feels like for the most part, they've controlled this game. Lake Central, they've shown a few flashes.
Yeah, the Spartans have really just lived through the three ball, and that's really what's bumped them out in front. The Indians have looked good at times, but their inability to get their threes to start falling is really what's allowed the Spartans, despite some streaky shooting at times, it's really just bumped them out to a 10-point lead.
So what do you think the strategy should be for Lake Central? Do you try to get the three ball rolling, and you just try to work the ball inside more?
Well, we've seen them have success really just going inside. I think a big part of their offense not really clicking up to this point is they've had really long possessions, but not all of them have resulted in good shots. We've seen moments where they have minute-long possessions end with a heave three. Those are not the shots you're looking for if you're the Indians. So I think they need to continue going down low and just look for efficient shots to get themselves back within reach of this game.
Yeah, if you're going to have those long possessions, which at times have worked, you've got to come away with points, or at least a good look at the end of it. And there's been a few times, you mentioned it, they've just checked up some deep three-pointers that have come really nowhere close to falling. Meanwhile, Homestead, they've been rotating players in and out of this game, as the starting five, they've all seen playing time, and I believe 4 other players have been in for the Spartans in this game. So rotating fresh legs in and doing so and still holding on to the 10-point lead.
Yeah, Spartans, you mentioned some of the substitutions they've made, and some of those bench players have made a huge impact in this game. You see Eva Scarberry was 7, and some of those other players have just made a huge impact in getting the Spartans the lead they hold at the moment.
With that, we're going to take a break, but we're back with the second half after this.
Rethink your limits.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Getting ready for the second half here at Spartan Arena. Homestead up 32-22. You might see at the top of your screen there, everyone keeping an eye on the college football playoff game. Notre Dame up 20-3 over Georgia in that one. So good day for Indiana fans, or fans of teams from Indiana, I should say. Homestead here from Fort Wayne leading over Lake Central 32-22. So the Indians down by 10. Still a very manageable margin, it feels like. They've got to start having quicker possessions for one. How else do they get back into the game?
Well, I just think they really just need to continue running through Vanessa Wimberly. She's been a huge part of this offense already, up to 13 points, over half of the team's total points, and they just need to continue running through her. She's been one of the only bright spots on this Indians offense, and the Spartans really have no answer for her so far in this game.
It will be Lake Central basketball to begin this third quarter, so an opportunity to get things going right out of the gates. Soria will be set to inbound it, and a quick look out there. Looks like the starting five on the floor for Lake Central. Starting five also out there for Homestead. Right here, we'll have it right off the bat. Now Soria out to Wimberly. She was the leading scorer in this game for either team with 13 in the first half. Now Leonard has it. Wimberly. Craigier. Gonna go up with it. Had a little bit of space and banks it home.
And those are the kind of looks the Indians are looking for. Just clean looks at the basket, catching the Spartans out of position. And those are the shots we're going to see continue from the Indians.
Mollering tips it out, but yeah, good start for the Indians. A relatively long 30-second possession. And most importantly, they came away with points. And you're going to need those if you can get back into a game you're trailing. Epps with it. Now to Whitney Inkenbrook. So they've done pretty good on the offensive glass. Here comes a second chance opportunity. Helsum can't convert. Now a third chance opportunity, a third shot beyond the arc. That one off the mark as well. Fight for it, out of play off of Helsum, so that'll go to Lake Central. So Homestead had three pretty good looks there, but Lake Central holds.
Yeah, not usual to see the Spartans missing that many open threes. Indians get away lucky there and have a huge chance to try to cut the lead down to 6.
Wimberly, she's going to pop a three-pointer of her own. That one again off the marks, and not what Lake Central need there. A very quick possession that comes up empty, but ball back in the hands of the Spartans. Lift Fry to Maya Epps. Inkenbrook with it again to Fry. Helsum. Mooring. Maya Epps, she's going to drive, goes around Soria and lays it in.
And Maya Epps just so efficient when driving at the rim. Just a great step-through move there and able to find herself all alone.
And we had one bucket in the second quarter after 6 points in the first period, but getting on going quickly here in the third quarter. Floated over top, and we're going to get a whistle. They're going to say Helsum held down a Lake Central player, so she'll pick up that foul. It'll be her second. Ball quickly inbounded to Wimberly. She's going to spin around Mollering right there like a wall, but she took a shot to the gut, and she is in pain right now. She's down on the floor, and the officials are going to blow it dead, and not a good sign there, as Mollering obviously in some pain, and we'll take a break. 5:45 to go in the third.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
For more than 30 years and 2 generations, RT and Colin Green have given Fort Wayne more than proven personal injury representation. They have shared everyday life with the people they serve. These deep ties give RT, Colin, and every member of Team Green Law the local Fort Wayne knowledge and insight to know the best way to help you get the recovery you deserve. See the difference local experience makes. For a free consultation, visit us online at teamgreenlaw.com. Team Green Law, for you, with you.
Back here at Spartan Arena, 5:45 to go in the third quarter. Mullering able to get off the floor and certainly in a lot of pain, as I hope she's okay. She was grabbing with that left hand, and of course she's been out the last 6 weeks or so with that injury to her left hand, so hopefully nothing more than just a little bit of a stinger, but she's out on the sideline right now getting looked at as the Indians come back from the timeout and get a three-pointer to start things off.
Yeah, and a huge three for them. Seems to rattle all over the basket before finally going down. Those are some shots that they're going to need to get to go down. They're going to get back in this game.
Craigier, she's in the double digits now with that made three-pointer. 7-point game. Homestead, their offense has not slowed down since halftime. Epps muscling through. No call there. Helsum cleans up for the Spartans, even with a couple Indians players in the area. Now Liv Fry with the ball to Epps. She'll spin around left-handed. Gets the bounce.
Maya Epps continues looking to play through that inside game. She gets her second shot of the half to go down.
Kimberly has it here. Craigier. And Brooke bringing some pressure. McLaughlin almost got there to force a steal. Instead, she's going to be called for a foul.
The Spartans have played very physical defense. However, that has led to a decent amount of fouls as they were in the bonus in the last quarter and now up to 2 in the third.
Leonard going to pop the three-pointer off the mark. And that's going to go out of play. Soria couldn't get to it for Lake Central. We'll be back to Homestead. We're already almost midway through this third quarter. Homestead's lead basically where it was at halftime, only 1 point less. So Fry has it for the Spartans. Now to Epps. And a foul on the floor. Delaney Knoll is going to check into the game. She'll take the place of Liv Fry. Kendall McLaughlin was the one who came in when Mullering had to leave the game. Also Archer going to check in for the Indians. Hinkenbrook has it. She's going to drive. And Lake Central stands tall. They've done pretty well down low defensively in the second half, but a second chance opportunity. And Gabby Helsum converts on the J. She's got 9 points in this game. Wimberley has it. And we're going to get a foul here called against Homestead. And that one's going to be charged against Maya Epps. That'll be her second, third team foul for the Spartans here in this third quarter. Ball inbounded. Archer right there. No one around her is getting lost. Out on the floor, and she'll convert the easy lay-in.
And the Spartans at times just pure loss defensively. They've looked very good for most of the game, but there are times when the Indians just find themselves all alone under the basket. Can't afford those mishaps on defense in this game.
Hinkenbrook has it for Homestead. Now to Maya Epps. Epps, she's going to drive, goes up, no good. Epps cleans her up her own miss. Cross floor pass to Helsum. She's found on the way to the cup and will go to the free throw line.
Lake Central foul number 30, Skirka. Helsum shoots 2 for the Spartans.
Helsum at the free throw line. And her first one is good. Her second trip to the line today. 84% on the season from the stripe. She converts both this time, and she's up to 11 points on the game. Wimberly with the ball. Throwing it to Leonard. Now dishing, ball back outside. Cargill going to try another three-pointer off the mark. Olsen will get the defensive rebound for the Spartans. Just over 11 minutes to go in this game. Epps from the elbow, no good. Waiting right there for the rebound. How about these second chance opportunities the Spartans keep getting? They're really cleaning up on the glass. And they make this second chance opportunity count as Helsum strikes again.
Well, as you mentioned, the Spartans just doing such a great job on the few shots that aren't going down, just finding a way to get in position for the board. That's been a large part why their offense continues playing so well.
Lake Central, they're going to call a full timeout. We'll take it along with them. 42-29, 3:06 to go in the third. .306 to go here in the third quarter. Homestead up 42-29 over Lake Central. Carly Mullering, who left the game a few moments ago after appearing to re-aggravate her hand injury. She's still out there. She's currently sitting a couple rows behind the Homestead bench, sitting with a couple of the trainers. We certainly wish her the best. You know, it's been a long road for her to get back out on the floor. It's been about a month and a half since she was able to last play, and she was having a pretty good day. She had 5 points, so we'll see. Hopefully she's able to get back to it sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, Lake Central, the deficit up to 13 points for them. And just their offense has looked better in the second half, but they really have not been able to slow down Homestead at all.
Yeah, their defense starting to collapse a little bit here in the second half, just not as strong as it looked in the first, and their offense just not doing enough to get them back in this game.
Well, Wimberly, she's certainly trying her best. She muscles through. She's up to 15 points. Helsum on the other end cashes in the three-pointer. She's got 16. She's now the leading scorer in this one. Averaging 19 points per game. No surprise that Gabby Helsum having another big performance here. Wimberly, we'll see if she tries to match with a three-ball of her own. Backing off, and this time she's taking quite a few deep balls in this one. She's taking a pass to Leonard for the time being. Now here comes Soria, top of the key, out to Leonard. She is going to drive in left-handed off the back iron. Lake Central, though, they get the offensive rebound, but then turns into a waste as the pass no good that time. Good pressure from the Spartans forces the turnover.
And the Indians, just too many costly mistakes. Just unforced errors here that they can't afford when you're already down 14 points.
10 minutes to go in this game, 2 minutes to go in the third. Homestead up by 14. McLaughlin to Angerbrook. She's going to try a wing three. No good. McLaughlin, though, going to get the board. Another offensive rebound for Homestead. Going to turn into a turnover. 1-on-2 here for Soria. She turns around. Angerbrook pokes it free and is going to be charged with a foul. And Angerbrook, she's been very aggressive in this game, picking up just her first foul of the evening, but she's forced a couple of balls free in this one. Liv Fry going to check in for Homestead. Delaney Noel will go to the bench. Eva Scarberry also checking into the game, taking the place of Kendall McLaughlin. Leonard will inbound it. Throws it in. Krieger catch and shoot off the inbound. No good. Well off the mark. Scarberry cleans up for the Spartans. Now to Maya Apps. Well, 3-on-4 here. Helsum. She's going to try the three-pointer. It's up. That time off the mark. Indians get a stop defensively. Still down 14. Have to get something going on the offensive end. They've slowed down again these last couple of minutes. Wimberly. She might be thinking about a deep three-pointer. She's going to back off. Trying to get this offense set up. She's going to float one up. No good. Liv Fry will get the rebound for the Spartans. Wimberly picks her up mid-court. Epps three-pointer. That's a bit short. Ankenbrook, though, again, these missed three-pointers from Homestead, more often than not, they're getting the rebound. Hellsum to Ankenbrook. Now to Epps. Had a look, top of the key, but a little bit of a bobble. Ankenbrook's going to get a look, though, and that one is money from Whitney Ankenbrook. She's got 6 points in this one.
And those points coming off of an offensive rebound that she was able to pull down. The Spartans just continue to dominate on the offensive glass as it leads to more points.
Excuse me, that was actually just the first three-pointer for Ankenbrook in this game, so she's got 3 points, but regardless, a good shot from her. She's going to now have 5 as she lays it in.
Spartans just starting to get their offense and defense rolling, just wide open at the rim. It's a great offensive play there.
Now a 19-point lead for Homestead, starting to get ugly here for Lake Central. Wimberly three-pointer. That one is good. Maybe that'll help stop the bleeding. She has performed amazing in this game. As Homestead's half-court heave not going to go. Another look at that beautiful three-pointer from Wimberly. It'll make it a 16-point game as we go to the fourth. Homestead leads 50-34.
Rethink your limits.
You know, for quarter number 4 here at Homestead High School, and it's the home team, Homestead, leading 50-34 over Lake Central. And so far, things going a lot better than their only time these teams have ever met last year in semi-state when Lake Central came out with the victory, albeit a very different Lake Central team from a year ago, losing their leading scorer, I should say. They put up a good fight at times in this game, but Homestead, their depth is really showing in, especially here in the second half.
Yeah, just the further throughout this game we go, Spartans just continue looking better and better. And a big part of that, as you mentioned, is the depth of this team, just able to keep their starters fresh and insert them throughout the game, just able to get such great play out of each and every one of their players.
A little bit of an update here on Mullering. We don't know anything that you don't know, but obviously still in a little bit of pain, but she's at least made it back over to the bench with her teammates. So hoping to be a leader as she has this entire time. She's been out with an injury, and Hellsum lays it in for the Spartans.
Gabby Hellsum just continues fighting her way inside and finding herself at the rim. Just uncontested there for her 18th point.
18th point for her, and now an 18-point lead for Homestead. Craigier spinning around, good concentration. She gets it to drain home. She's had a quietly good game here, 12 points in this one. Ankenbrook has it for the Spartans. Now to Epps, out to Hellsum. Already almost a minute gone in this fourth quarter. Ankenbrook catch and shoot off the mark. And Whistle's going to send it the other way. If there's one criticism of Homestead in this game, maybe they're not making as many three-pointers as they usually do, but they're doing such a good job rebounding offensively, and it's not really mattering.
Yeah, even when their shots are off, it just seems like they find a way to keep the possession alive and to stay with them. That's a big reason why they've been able to just outscore the Indians, is they're just getting more shots up than the Indians are.
Hellsum contests the shot from Craigier, who can't get it to drop. Now Epps has it to Liv Fry, and they're going to say she traveled, didn't establish a pivot, so that'll turn it back over. Homestead's been relatively clean offensively this game, just 2 turnovers from traveling and a couple other turnovers in this game, but a team that overall is pretty clean when it comes to turnovers, only 12 per game. This Wimberly again with it. She's going to pull up from deep, and that's no good. She's done that a few times, and down 16, you got to score quickly. Those probably aren't the looks you want. Tipped around. Perigo touched it there, so they'll give it back to Lake Central.
Well, the Indians need a good offensive possession here. You mentioned on the last possession when Wimberly went up for that 3, that's just not the shots the Indians are looking for, and we've seen a couple of those here in the second half, just shots that don't seem like it's what the Indians have been going for, and they'll need a really good possession, try to get a good look inside to try to cut into this lead a little bit.
Soria is the leading three-point shooter on the team for Lake Central, but even she is only 33%. It's not a team that does it beyond the arc a whole lot as it's tipped out of play there. Homestead's defense really strengthening inside. They're almost daring Lake Central to go beyond the arc.
Yeah, especially in the second half, we saw the Indians able to stay in the game with their offense some in the first half. But in the second, this Homestead defense has just been smothering.
Soria can't convert the look. And now Noel on the other end gets the pass from Epps. She'll go to Scarberry. How about that? Give Epps credit for the hockey assist. And then Delaney Noel the actual assist to Scarberry. Eva Scarberry's in the double digits now with 10 points, her season high. Wimberley has it, passes back to Craigier. Now Leonard, outside three-pointer, and doesn't get the roll. Scarberry there to clean up on the glass. Susie Perigo has it. Not going to shoot, instead go to Epps. She'll float one up and gets it to go. Everything dropping right now for the Spartans. Leonard with it. Left-handed pass. Forced to go outside. Archer had no look. Craigier again with it. To Wimberley. Deficit at 20. Not looking too good for Lake Central right now. Floated over top. And then on travel there, we'll give it back to Homestead. And another look at that floater from Epps. Getting rewarded after the deep pass. The possession before that helped get them a couple points. And Delaney Noel looks like she shifted to being the primary ball carrier up the floor for Homestead. Just for the time being. Eva Scarberry has it for the Spartans. Now Helsum hands it off to Delaney Noel. Noel. Left side to Scarberry. Floated over top. Deflected. And they're going to say it touched the hair of Gabby Helsum. So that's going to be Lake Central ball. As Wimberley will bring up the floor. Touching the midway point of this fourth quarter. Leonard dishing down low. Nothing doing from Craigier. She's going to go back up. This time she's going to get a foul call. Send her to the free throw line. That one's going to be charged against Scarberry.
Well, how about Susie Perigo on the block on that first shot attempt, and she's gotten a few of those here in this game. Just a freshman coming off the bench, but the tallest player on this roster, staying at 6'1". She brings some rim protection that the Spartans otherwise don't have too much of.
First free throw is good. Up to 13 points in this game as Colonel McLaughlin and Whitney Inkenbrook come back in for Homestead. Craigier gets the second one to go as well. So now 14 points for her. 18-point deficit for her team. Epps has it for the Spartans. Now Helsum back to Epps. Helsum again with it. Homestead maybe going for some longer possessions now. A foul on the floor going to be charged against Lake Central. So this game looking like it's going to be chalked up to a Homestead victory. And looking forward, they're back in action in just 2 days' time. They'll take on North Central. That game will have right here on Homestead Live, a 2:30 afternoon tip for that one. But Homestead, the loss to Lawrence Central, that was a pretty big defeat. But since then, they've bounced back nicely these last two games.
Yeah, and they've been against some tough teams in South Knox and now here against Lake Central. Just a great stretch of 2 games for the Spartans just a great rebound games, especially against a tough opponent like South Knox, but just bouncing back from that Lawrence Central game. Definitely what the Spartans are going to need, especially down the stretch of the season.
Foul going to be charged there. And you mentioned South Knox. They're the #1 team in 2A, both in the polls and in the Sagarin ratings, and a top 10 team in the state by the metric of the Sagarin ratings and the coaches poll, which makes up all classes. So that was a good win for Homestead. Of course, they're a top 10 team in both the coaches poll. The AP poll hasn't been updated since that loss, but they'll be in the top 10 there as well whenever that one comes out, likely next Monday, and they're top 10 in Sagarin. So Homestead's still easily one of the best teams in the state. Lake Central, they made it to state last year. They're top 40 in the Sagarin ratings, number 27 in 4A. So they're a good team as well, and this loss, nothing to get their heads down about. This is still a team that has the potential to make a deep postseason run. Wimberley can't get it to go. Ball loose on the floor. Houston will have it for Homestead. Lake Central, their next game will be against LaPorte. Of course, that was actually where Homestead and Lake Central met up last year, was at LaPorte in the semi-state semifinal. As Ankenbrug gets that one to go. Good dish from Susie Perrigan.
Well, once again, the Spartans just getting points off of rebounds and second chance opportunities on the glass as the Indians just can't seem to pull a board down defensively.
Ball down low. Craigier goes up. Some contact, no call. Gets her own rebound and puts it back in. She's taking control here in the second half for Lake Central. She has 16 points. Epps has it. Can't get a pass out cleanly. Comes Wimberley on the other end. Trying a Euro. Nothing to it. Craigier, though, there to clean up. Get the shot to go. And the foul.
How about Craigier? She's really just put this Indians offense on her back in this fourth quarter, just trying to dominate inside. She gets the and one to go.
Gabby Osum and Maya Epps will head to the bench probably for the remainder of the evening. Celine Oskin and Eva Scarberry check back in. Kendall McLaughlin and Susie Perigo. Those would Yankenbrook, the other three out there on the floor. And one is converted.
Lake Central takes a full timeout.
And Lake Central is going to take a timeout. 15-point game with 1:45 to go. Back here at Spartan Arena, 1:45 to go. And this one, Homestead in firm control, 58 to 45. 58 to 43, excuse me. Of course, pretty similar score to last year when it was the other way around. Lake Central, and they defeated Homestead 55-42 before they went on to the state championship and fell short at the hands of Lawrence Central. Homestead this year, the higher ranked team, number 6 in the coaches poll, currently number 4 in 4A. So final 1:45 of this game, Homestead in firm control. You think both coaches want to see from their teams these final 2 minutes or so?
Will the Spartans just continue getting some of their three-pointers to drop? They haven't done as efficiently as they have, but on the glass has really been huge, but just getting some of those threes to drop. Meanwhile, for the Indians, just need to get some of their offense going, just need to show signs of life offensively that really have been there at times, which have failed to consistently produce.
Spartans going to get the takeaway here. Maya Epps has it. Now Ankenbrook, skip past to Helsum. Helsum going up. Can't get the roll. Tipped around. Oskin keeps it in play. And Coach Parker going to be credited with a timeout. 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it here with 1:07 to go in this one. Look at the upcoming conference schedule for Homestead. Of course, they have Southside a week from tomorrow. Then they have Snyder on January 17th. The way things are shaping up, that could determine the conference champion. They'll have Northside on the 24th, and they'll round things out against Northrop on January 30th. Actually, a Thursday for that one as opposed to the usual Friday game. So those two games against Snyder and Northrop, obviously those are going to be the ones everyone's keeping their eyes on. It's those three teams competing for the conference crown, of course. It's been now 3 seasons since Homestead won the conference title, failing to capture it each of the last 2 years, which doesn't sound like that long of a drought for most teams, but Homestead certainly, they want to get back to the top of the SAC. And he's buzzing out of bounds and stay with Lake Central.
Well, if there's a year for the Spartans to win it, it would be this one. They're heavily favored to win it going into the year as they are standing right now top 10 in the class, let alone in the conference.
No other team in the SAC ranked in the top 10 right now. Celine Oskin has it for the Spartans. Ball passed out. Blaney Sights. Now back to Oskin. Sights again with it. Finds Perigo. She can't convert. Tipped out. Oskin there to clean up. She's been hustling since she came into the game. Perigo with it. Almost an up and down there. Instead, Aggie Bowe's going to try the three-pointer off the mark. And then an offensive foul on the floor, I believe, charged against Oskin. We'll send the ball to Lake Central, and they're shooting free throws.
Well, the Indians continue playing very aggressively even late into this game. Just not wanting to give Spartans easy points. Just trying to battle all the way through.
First free throw is up, and that one is no good. As a line change coming in for Lake Central, 4 new players. Going to check into the game. For these final 33 seconds. Lantern goes 1 of 2 from the line. And now she'll check out of the game as well. So a whole new 5 out there for Lake Central. No more starters in the game for any team right now. As Oskin has it now for the Spartans. Finds Scarberry. Scarberry had 10 points in this one. Perigo fouled on the way up. She'll go to the line. Perigo 86% from the free throw line this year. Only missed 1, 6 of 7 this season. And she'll convert the first. Second one up, and that one good as well. Susie Perigo goes 2 of 2, now 8 of 9 on the year, 88%. Ball being handed around here by the Indians, and then that's going to do it. They're not even getting a final look, and Homestead wins this one. A pretty dominant 16-point margin, 60-44. A game that they led from almost wire to wire from the moment they took a 3-2 lead. They never looked back.
Yeah, just a great game throughout by the Spartans. Were able to get an 8-point lead early, but especially in that third quarter, their offense and defense just exploded to really give themselves a manageable lead throughout that they held for the rest of the game.
And of course, a lot of the thoughts will be with Carly Mullering of the Spartans. Again, she's still out there. You actually see her on the far left of your shot, still favoring that left hand, so we hope she's okay. Homestead's next game will be against North Central Coming up on Saturday, we'll have that one for you. Coverage begins at 2:30. It's actually a split doubleheader of Spartan basketball. The boys team will take to the floor at 7:30 against Leo, so plenty of good non-conference action coming your way this weekend. And Malachi, who's your player of the game tonight?
For me, it's going to be Gabby Helsum. She poured in 18 points and really was huge to getting the Spartans that lead in the third quarter. Hit a few huge threes to really just keep the Spartans ahead throughout the entire game. And she's really stepped it up this year, as we mentioned earlier, scoring 19 points per game. She really showed her offense out in this game.
Oh, Maya Epps, she had 14 points in this game and eclipsing the 1,000 career point mark in her career. Again, still only a junior, so plenty more points coming her way. Also eclipsing 1,000 career points in this game, Vanessa Wimberly, she finished with 18. A good performance from her. And Ayla Croyer, she had 17 for the Indians. That's going to wrap things up for us here at Spartan Arena. Homestead gets the victory 60-44, avenging their semi-state loss from a year ago. We'll see you back here Saturday at 2:30 as the Lady Spartans take on North Central. Until then, on behalf of the entire Homestead Live broadcasting team and color commentator Malachi Stout, I'm Braxton, all saying so long from Spartan Arena.